this Saturday on all DBS radio's frequencies and social media platforms to hear Catalina Popone live on DBS Radio and DBS Radio social media pages. Catalina Popone reads the 1315 News.
Fair and balanced, unbiased and clear, concise and accurate. This is the DBS Evening News. Here now is your presenter with the headlines.
In the headlines, compensation of $4 million for longshoremen and stevedores to be paid before the end of the year. In news from the region, Grenada to benefit from multi-million-dollar energy investment from UK. And internationally, China's president not expected to attend Donald Trump inauguration. Good evening, I am Leila Langford. Details of the news when we return.
Christmas in this year.
Can I have this? We have an extra $400 from Flow. You can have everything you want.
More gifts with Flow. With Christmas in, win weekly prices up to $10,000 in cash. Sign up for a postpaid bundle or a broadband plan.
We Christmas in with free groceries from Flow. Plus, a chance to win weekly prizes and up to $10,000 cash. Head over to your nearest Flow store or visit discoverflow.co. Flow, we Christmasing.
More gifts with Flow.
DBS News.
Welcome back. Making the headline this evening, stevedores and longshoremen of the Dominican Air and Seaport Authority who were involved in a long-standing impasse could receive their compensation before the end of the year. Mr. Skerritt addressed the matter at an end-of-year press conference today.
I believe the agreement was $4 million, and we came to a conclusion between the diaspora and the longshoremen, stablemen, a settlement, well, not a settlement, but an agreement on $4 million that would bring an end to this long outstanding impasse between the two entities. Now, I use my good offices to negotiate a settlement between the two, recognizing that this is a legal issue. And I don't want to appear to be interfering, but with the concurrence of both entities, I was allowed to negotiate, and we came to a conclusion of $4 million. DASPA was authorized to borrow those funds from the National Bank. The National Bank approved the loan of $4 million for DASPA because we wanted to pay the development one check, recognizing that there's many senior citizens, many senior men who are retired and waiting for this. So instead of paying them in tranches, as was initially agreed, said to give them one check. So that money is available. Unfortunately, we had to utilize the funds temporarily. Not utilize the money, but you utilize the commitment of $4 million. We go to Parliament on Monday, and one of the resolutions will free up that money from DASPA. So all things considered, by Wednesday morning next week, the civil government should have a check from DASPA. Once Parliament approves of this resolution before the House, then the check will be made available to them. But the money is there. It's in the National Bank. It has not been used. It's not that we have an instrument against it, but it has not been used. And by Wednesday, God's willing, they should be able to get that check given to them so they can start giving checks just in time for Christmas.
Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerritt. Attorney General Levi Peter has shut down opposition criticism that government is not interested in electoral reform. His statement came during a program on DBS this morning as the government prepares to take 3 electoral reform bills to Parliament for the first reading only on Monday. Mr. Peter says any suggestion that electoral reform will not materialize is unfortunate.
As I said before, that's not a position that I can entertain at all because I know how much effort I have put personally into seeking to ensure that we have electoral reform that will work for the entire country and all of the political parties, not electoral reform that is skewed in favor of any one party. So I shall not sit quietly by and listen to people making false statements. There are actually 3 bills that are tabled, have been tabled and will be read before the Parliament on Monday. One is the Registration of Electors Bill 2024. The other is House of Assembly Elections Bill 2024. And the third one is the Electoral Commission Bill 2024. There is no government in the history of Dominica, none, and I've been around for all of them since independence. No government in Dominica has done more to effect electoral reform or modernization, however you want to call it. None. In fact, no other government has made any effort at electoral reform. I personally have been involved, as I said earlier, with at least 3 iterations of comprehensive legislation to introduce electoral reform.
Mr. Peter has accused opposition forces of frustrating the process towards electoral reform.
Those who claim they want electoral reform have been clamoring at certain points, making all sorts of noise, threatening to do all sorts of things because they say the government is not taking the bills to Parliament. Now the bills are going to Parliament, they come up with a new story. This is just a set of people who are trying every which way to frustrate the process of electoral reform, because if we proceed with electoral reform, they're going to have to find something useful to speak about. It's not my decision, I'm not the leader of the government, but I personally have very strong views of the extent to which you continue to allow this kind of disruption. The bills are very clear. The bills, we had a whole 3 weeks, I think it was, of consultations at State House, in various communities around the country, via virtual means. After that, before that, there's been discussion of the bills. For people to claim that there's not been discussion or consultation on these bills is just a joke. Now, are you satisfied or are you happy with every single thing in it? Do you know every single word in it? Probably not. Have you bothered to try to find out what's in it? Well, if you have, those who have will know pretty much what's in it. It hasn't changed drastically. We know what's in it, and we need to stop this game that people are playing.
Attorney General Levi Peter. The United Workers' Party will have a new leader on Sunday. Opposition Senator Delbert Paris has said he will be contesting for the leadership against the current leader, Dr. Thompson Fontaine.
The United Workers' Party will host its delegates conference on the 15th of December at the Castlebrus Primary School in Castlebrus from 2 p.m. And there will be 2 main sessions, a business session and a formal session. At the formal session, there will be remarks and addresses made by officials of the party, inclusive of the president, the deputy political leader, the vice president, and the political leader. Then reports from the treasurer, the secretary, the minutes of the last convention, all that would be read. When that is finished, the party will now go into the business session. At the business session, the main activity that will take place there is the election of officers. Now, please note that at every convention, every position of officers within the national executive becomes vacant. So in this instance, the position of political leader, deputy political leader, president, vice president, general secretary, assistant general secretary, treasurer, assistant treasurer, public relations officer, international secretary, trustees. All these positions are up for contention or competition, if you want to call it that, and the convention delegates will vote where it is necessary to vote. I don't think it is ethical for me to say who are recommended in the nominations committee report, because that is confidential at the moment and will be read at the convention on Sunday during the business session.
General Secretary of the United Workers' Party, Nicholas George. Local and regional aviation security have received a boost in capacity following an aviation security quality control workshop. The 4-day workshop held in Dominica was funded by the Canadian government through Transport Canada and ECHO. Canadian Transportation Security Inspector Brent Hogan facilitated the workshop.
This was an aviation security quality control workshop put on jointly by Transport Canada with the assistance of ECHA. The objective of the training was to provide test kits with real simulant explosive devices to assist security screeners and aviation security auditors and inspectors in identifying real-world threats at the security checkpoint. The response of the participants was positive. We had engagement from 6 different nations on this training. We also had the assistance of our regional ICAO, International Civil Aviation Organization representative, for the region. The training itself lasted 4 days. This is the first training of its kind in the region. This is an internationally delivered course with standardized material that Canada puts on as part of its International Capacity Development Program for Aviation Security. The funding for this program comes from Canada in support of achieving ICAO requirements globally. The kits themselves run about $5,000 to $6,000, and of course the overhead for delivering the training is borne by the Government of Canada.
Canadian Transportation Security Inspector and facilitator of the Aviation Security Quality Control Workshop, Brett Hogan. Former CEO of the Dominica Air and Seaport Authority, Dasper Binwa Badwell, says the Aviation Security Quality Control Workshop is timely.
And I would say thanks to Transport Canada. A few months back, a decision was made in Antigua to host this quality control workshop in Dominica. Dominica had never taken on that responsibility in the past, and we saw it fit to ensure that we could improve on our program here in all of the security controls that we had. We needed further exposure, and we need also to invite a number of the other coordinators around the region to see firsthand the work that was being done in Dominica. We're constantly seeking to improve the work that we're doing here. As you would have experienced being here, we are now building a new international airport, and the level of responsibility that comes with that, as some of you are operating in that environment, is tremendous. And so we're beginning to cultivate in terms of improving on the culture, the security culture within our organization, to take a role whereby we can have a better structure from a national perspective. We're hoping to put a number of things in place based on the National Civil Aviation Security Program, and we're hoping to ensure that there will be a lot more better oversight in terms of the things that we're doing.
Former CEO of the Dominica Air and Seaport Authority, Dasper Binwa Badwell. Meantime, participants of the workshop say the workshop was worthwhile.
Well, the workshop was a long time coming. It was very beneficial to all the security officers and the participants who attended this training. We, as aviation security personnel, we are grateful for this training because it allows us to now advance our security systems, advance our ability to detect explosives, advance our ability to be able to intercept explosive devices at our airports. And because of this training, I think the region can say that they are more safe because of that training and the experience from that training. Surpassed my expectations.
I was here for the civil aviation course in Dominica. I am the quality control manager in St. Kitts at Casper. I found this course to be very interesting, and the experience of what I gather here will be able to take it back and participate and help with our staff in security awareness for this training. At least the visit to Dominica, this is the first time I've been here, and I love Dominica.
Quality Control Manager in St. Kitts, Isilma Pemberton Thomas, and before her, Acting Director of Security for Dominica Air and Seaport Authority, Dasper Cozier Charles. On the feature segment of the DBS Evening News, 67-year-old St. Joseph farmer Felix Christmas has been named Long-Standing Commercial Farmer of the Year. Mr. Christmas farms on the Makushri estate and began his farming career at the age of 14. Long-standing farmer Felix Christmas is our feature on the DBS Evening News.
Well, I farm in Gaumont Heights, Makushri estate. I doing farming as a boy with my parents. Then I keep it up as a young man, now reached to an adult age, retirement age, but I still have the passion for farming. And I would advise our young people, young men and women, if they have the opportunity, the land, they can reach far in agriculture. But anything you're doing, you have to do it strong, not halfway. And if you do it strong with determination, you can reach far. Well, first I was in banana. Now banana, sorry to say it that way, but it was good for the country, but not for the farmer. Because most banana farmers live poor and die poor. But actually, when they take me out from banana and I diversify more in yam, I had 35 acres of land in bananas. I turned that 35 acres of land in bananas into 35 acres of yam. There I see the real result. Yam, I had animals too and a lot of citrus. Now when the disease take, the citrus die and hurricane pass, but I go back and make my own seeds, grafting my own plants. Fiora fella helped me well in grafting and giving me the different techniques. And then I graft in my own citrus, my own pears, and doing my own budwood. Praise God.
So are you still very active in farming?
Yes, and I want to go further. My only problem is I am waiting on the government to give me visas for immigrants. That's all I need. Once I can get workers, with the knowledge I have, I can go pretty far for myself and for the country.
What then would be your message to Dominica and, of course, anyone listening to you?
Agriculture can pay. Now we should go in crops that have shelf life, because if you harvest and you don't have the sale, it means that you have the crop is a perishable crop. You might lose too much. But if you grow in crops that have shelf life, it's more beneficial. It's sparable, but not halfway. Not 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I would advise our young people, Dominica is an agricultural country, to go forward in agriculture and choose the right crop.
Long-standing farmer Felix Christmas of St. Joseph, and that's the national focus, regional and international developments up next.
Christmas in this year.
Can I have this? We have an extra $400 from Flow. You can have everything you
More
want.
gifts with Flow. With Christmas in, win weekly prices up to 10,000 in cash. Sign up for a postpaid bundle or a broadband plan.
We Christmasing with free groceries from Flow, plus a chance to win weekly prizes and up to $10,000 cash. Head over to your nearest Flow store or visit discoverflow.co. Flow, we Christmasing.
More gifts with Flow.
DBS News.
In news from the region, Grenada's government has welcomed a commitment by the British government to spend £10 million to support the country's goal of climate resilient and sustainable electricity generation. London said that the funding aims to reduce Grenada's reliance on expensive imported fossil fuel and lower energy costs for businesses and citizens. It said that the new funding adds on to UK's $19.3 million investment in renewable energy initiative across 6 Caribbean countries to promote greener, more affordable energy solutions. And internationally, Chinese President Xi Jinping is unlikely to attend the U.S. presidential inauguration in January, despite an invitation from Donald Trump, according to 2 people familiar with the planning. Chinese ambassador to the U.S. is expected to attend, and other officials from Beijing may also join him. CBS News first reported on the unusual invitation. Records indicate no foreign leaders have ever attended a presidential inauguration. Trump has at times praised Xi, but has also been heavily critical of China. He has pledged to sharply increase tariffs on imported Chinese goods when he takes office next month. And that's news, the DBS Evening Sports Report. Up next.
Covering the nation and beyond. DBS Sports Report.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fence pipe. And Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins and bidets. PVC piping, fittings and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Welcome to the DBS Evening Sports Report. Champion Reef Divers maintained their perfect record in the 6th edition of the Dream 11 Nature Isle T10 Cricket Tournament, while the Detroit Titugosh Splashers suffered their first defeat in 4 matches, and the Barana Ote Warriors returned to winning ways. Sports editor Gavin Richards has the story.
The Champion Reef Divers continued to look good, and it was the bowlers this time who led them to victory as they defeated the Indian River Rowers on Friday. Champion Reef Divers posted 95 for 5 in their 10 overs batting first. Roshan Primus, he got 34, and Cheyenne Brathwaite 39. Kavem Hodge, he picked up 2 for 14, and Keon Gaston 1 for 14 for the Indian River Rowers. Rowers in search of 96 for the victory to hand the Divers their first defeat of the season, while they were restricted to 85 for 6, with Kavem Hodge getting 34. Marlon Welcome Goodman, he bowled his career best, taking 4 for 7 in his 2 overs, and Roshan Primus 1 for 19, Kimron George 1 for 16. In the end, the Champion Reef Divers winning by 12 runs. Marlon Welcome Goodman was named the Bullseye Pharmacy Player of the Match. Here now is the winning captain, Stefan Pascal.
Yeah, when we were going out for the second inning, I urged them to put on a performance. If anyone has to criticize us, I feel they would criticize the bowling for the most part. But I urged them to come out with a good bowling performance today, and they did that.
All right, a quick word on Marlon Welcome Goodman and his bowling efforts. 4 for 7 today.
Yeah, that was special. I mean, it's something special to defend that runs on that wicket. It was a good wicket, and he pulled that off.
All right, you guys comfortable now. 5 wins on the trot, Stefan. What is it that the Champion Reef Divers have been doing, that has them in this sort of position right now?
Never say die. No matter the situation, we never say die. We never give up.
Let's now hear from the Indian River Rowers captain, Kavem Hodge.
Yeah, unfortunately, we got the start that we wanted. It wasn't able to carry throughout the middle. I got out at a crucial time. It was really my responsibility to carry it through, but it's just unfortunate. We couldn't finish the job. I must commend the way that the guys bowled.
All right, as a batting group, what sort of lessons can you take from this game moving forward into the competition? Still at the bottom of the points table.
Look, I think a rotational strike is important. Obviously, as a batsman, when you go in and you meet somebody who's going, it's important to give him the strike just to get some momentum. But it's a young group. The guys just have to keep learning and try and improve every game.
All right, what will you be telling the guys? Following this defeat, a few more games left in the competition, can maybe still get into the top 4. What will be the words to the guys tonight?
Look, there's a lot of positives, in this game and the game yesterday. I think it's just a matter of sticking to the things that we're doing well and try and improve. In closing off the overs, those who are in, try and get off. It's just unfortunate some of our guys like Descart haven't been able to get a start and push on, but he's a good caliber player. I expect him to bring something to the table, so we still have something to go.
Well, in the first game on a Friday, Daniel McDonald put in a man of the match performance as he guided the Barana Ote Warriors to victory over the Detroit's Titugosh Splashers. Splashers made 103 for 4 in their 10 overs. Their innings powered by Dylan Douglas, who hit an imposing 71 not out. Daniel McDonald, he picked up 2 for 9. Dornan Edwards 1 for 14 for the Barana Ote Warriors. The Warriors needing 104 to win. Well, they got to 107 for 2. In 8.2 overs, Daniel McDonald got 46 and Gian Benjamin 41 not out. We saw Lex McGlaw taking 1 for 16 and Jamie James 1 for 10 for the Detroit Titugosh Splashers. The Barana Ote Warriors winning that game by some 8 wickets. In the other match, Valley Hikers and the Sari Sunrisers, well, the defending champions went down to the Sari Sunrisers. Sunrisers made 109 for 7 batting first. Rick James got 18 and Kyron Phillip 11, but it was Tyrone Theophil who hit a quick 30 to lead the Sunrisers charge. Courtney Ansem, He picked up 1 for 28, Micah Joseph 2 for 21, and Ryshawn Williams 3 for 16 for the Valley Hikers. The Hikers needing 110 to win. We were looking comfortable, but they lost wickets at regular intervals and they were restricted to 102 for 4, with Ryshawn Williams getting 24, Luvio Charles 27, and Micah Joseph 16. Sari Sunrisers winning that game by 7 runs. Well, the T10 action will continue on Saturday. It's another triple header as the Indian River Rowers will battle the Sari Sunrisers in the first game at 9:30. At 12 o'clock, the D-Threads T2 God Splashers will be up against the Champion Reef Divers, and the Barana Oti Warriors will play the Valley Hikers at 2:30. Gavin Richards reporting for DBS Sports.
Our thanks to Gavin Richards for that report. DFA President Glenn Etienne says football in Dominica stands to benefit tremendously from the graduation of 9 coaches to CONCACAF B level certification. The coaches received their certificates last night after completing months of vigorous courses. Etienne says the DFA is committed to completing the standard of coaching on the island.
This certification program represents a significant investment in the future of Dominica's football. The nation and all football enthusiasts must know that the Dominica Football Association has committed over $30,000 USD to this initiative, an investment offered to no cost to the participant. Such an investment underscores our unwavering dedication to building a foundation for sustained growth and development in football. The Football Association, unlike many other member associations around the world, have never charged any coach a dime for their training. This is a significant investment in human resource development. This shows how much we value all those who work in making our goals attainable. This is an achievement we must celebrate, but it also serves as a reminder of the responsibility we bear to maximize its impact. We could have placed coaches on a bond to give back years of service. We choose to do otherwise and let your hearts and passion drive your contributions instead.
DFA President Glenn Etienne. The coaches who completed the course are National Football Coach Ellington Sabin, Delroy Watt, Joel Hamilton, Lennon Banis, Kenneth Esprit, Stanton Serafin, Oris Mills, and Egbert John Baptist. National Under-20 Women's Coach Roselia Regis was the lone female to complete the course.
Oh, it's a big step, not just for me, as you said, and this should mark something great for other women to step up and believe in themselves and know that they can go out there and do the same thing.
What is the most challenging part about this course?
Well, actually, as Eggy said earlier, the session planning, because the B license is taking you from the C license, and there's not much so in-depth. Writing up plans for your activity, and there are different activities, different sections in your session planning. So that was one of the challenges for me.
Okay, and now with the B license, where do you see yourself moving forward to? Are you already coach of the National Under-20 team? Where do you see yourself in the future?
Well, hopefully the senior women's team. But the youth is where we need to start, and we need some of the best coaches with the youth so we can implement a lot of the technical aspect of the football. And as we can see, and using my B license information now, I can see where we need to work on and where we need to be in the next 3 years or so.
National Under-20 Women's Coach Roselia Regis. The 2025 Kasani Laville Maho Softball Cricket Premier League will officially get underway in January. 13 teams are down to participate in the league. Speaking at the official launching of the league Thursday evening, the Maho parliamentary representative says he's excited to see the return of cricket under the lights in Maho.
Today, that feeling of expectation is here upon us. It's that feeling, that yearning for cricket back in our community. And this day is important for us as a community. It is very exciting. And I have great expectation for this Premier League in our community. I trust that we'll have a very successful league that We'll have a lot of team participation and community involvement. We'll encourage the communities, and please also encourage your communities to come and support you all also. We expect to see busloads of people from all over to come and support you all. I ask that you play fairly, play safely, guard against injury, okay? It's about fun, it's about excitement, about love. By the grace of God, like I said, our first games, our doubleheader, will be on Saturday, the 4th of January. So we are all looking forward to that.
Parliamentary Representative for Maho Kasani Laville, Minister of State with responsibility for sports, Senator Oscar George, also addressed Thursday's luncheon. The league is being organized by Smart Productions with support from the Maho Village Council. The Gregoire family, with assistance from the Harlem Sports Club, are partnering to remember the late Hanif Gregoire. Gregoire, a former Harlem captain and national footballer, passed away earlier this year following a lengthy battle with illness. A special football match will be held in honor of Hanif's memory on Saturday night at the Newtown Savannah.
So basically what we plan is to have a football match at 7:30 on Saturday night, this Saturday coming. A football match in honor of Hanif Gregoire, deceased. The teams will be the Dutch United team versus the Harlem Sports Club, pretty much. It is not a competitive game. It is more of a friendly game, basically to highlight the teams that he played for. And I would like to reach out to pretty much all the footballers that he played with, whether it be Dutch United, whether it be the Harlem Sports Club, whether it be the Poy Michel football team, also the national football team. All footballers that he played with, we would like them to come out to participate, to support, to spectate, whatever it may be. And 7:30 Saturday night, and the venue, of course, will be the Newtown Savannah.
Quentin Gregoire, the brother of Hanif Gregoire. And that's how we end the DBS Evening Sports and News. On behalf of the News and Sports Department and our link person, Joseph Fadul, I am Leila Langford, saying good evening.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fence pipe. And Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins and bidets. PVC piping, fittings and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass in Portsmouth.